So basically what this is it's a step-by-step tutorial on how to solve a Rubik's Cube 3x3 on the basic method, which is the beginner's method or the first method or whatever you want to call it. So Felix, want to take it from here?
To do this, you have to memorize a specific set of notations, we cubers like to call them. These being the letter, meaning which side of the cube you're moving. So this could be U for up. Keeping in mind that this is facing me, the blue is facing me. U would be up, the up rotation. So U would be U in a clockwise movement like this. Most of the time moving it like that. U prime is just U except anti-clockwise. R is R, and what I like to do when I was beginning was pointing the R towards me and going in a clockwise rotation like that. So that's R, R prime, anti-clockwise. That's how it's moving. This is L, pointing towards you, L. So L is the opposite of R. This basically means that F would be the opposite of B, and U would be the opposite of D. So all it is just a specific piece of the cube rotating in a different way. So R, R prime, L, L prime, U, U prime, etc.
Once it's messed up, we're going to do the first step, which is called the daisy. The daisy is optional step, but for beginners, if you haven't solved a Rubik's Cube before, I would recommend doing the daisy because it just makes solving it so much easier, in my opinion. So to get the daisy, we need to look at the yellow side. So when we see the yellow side, we might think that, oh, we just need to get all the yellow ones there, but that's actually not right. We're looking for these white ones here. The white corner ones we don't need yet, they'll be important later, but the white side ones are what we need. So we need to find all of them. We've got two here, there's one there, and there's one here. So we need to get them up into the yellow side. So the first one is to get there. That was pretty simple because it was already there, and this one also is already here. So we just spin that up. We've got this one here which we can spin like that to get up to here, and then the last one here to that. Now this is what we call a daisy because it kind of looks like a daisy, if you know what I mean. So once we've got that, we need to look at the sides adjacent to it. So that's blue, red, green, and orange. Then we need to look at the bits connecting to the white bits. These will never change. This piece here will always be red and white because it's one block. It's not, you can't mix it up and change it around. It's impossible. So what we're doing is we're going to find the one that it attaches to. Since it's red, we're going to find the red side and then spin this twice down. As you can see, we've got this little ridge here. That is what we need for all sides. So we've got another one here, but it's the same. So we spin that down, and now we've got a little bit here that's half solved, basically, for this step. And then we go to the green side and we can spin that down, and then finally orange side, spin that down twice.
Once we have the white cross solved, we start by doing the corners. So we can see we have one corner here, one here, one here, and one here. I like corners to be on the side here because I find them easier to put in. All you have to do is line up this with red and then do this algorithm. R, U, R prime. And now you can see that the corner is where it should be. You can tell this because it's next to the red edge piece and it's next to the green edge piece. Then I have another one here. So I position this to where it should be. And then because it's on the left, I do this different algorithm. L prime, U prime, L. Now I have two pieces. What I'm going to do, I find this next piece, and I do that same insertion method. L prime, U prime, L. This last piece is a bit trickier. I have to bring it out before doing that method. Get it in line. R, U, R prime. For another case, this can happen quite often, is when you have a piece on the top here. You basically just have to do the same thing for when they're on the bottom. You have to take it out, because if you just did that, it won't solve. You have to do it one more, and then do that same insertion method.
Okay, so once we've got the bottom layer solved, as well as these center bits on all 4 of these sides, then we move on to the third step. The third step is basically to finish the second layer. You would think that's a bit of a hassle. How do I get this one to there without destroying everything else? But it's really simple once you know how. First up, we find one of these corners that we need to get to here, or edges that we need to get to here. We find the 2 sides that it needs to go to, which in this case are green and red, because those are the colors that it has. Then we find the one that it matches up to currently. If it was red, we'd move it to there. But since it's green, we move it here. Then we move it one more across so that it's completely opposite to anything. It's not anything of the colors that it is. Then we do a quick left trigger and spin at U, and then a right trigger. And there it is, in there. Oh, it looks like we're lucky and we already got a second one, so now we just need to focus on the last 2. We've got one here, so we need to spin this right, left trigger, right trigger. Not too hard. Here it's already there, but it's incorrect. So what we need to do is spin it up like we were moving one of the other ones into there, but we're actually not. This way it's going this way. So we're doing a right trigger, then we're doing a left trigger. And there you go, second layer solved. Right trigger is this. R, U, R prime. Pretty simple. And then you can just reverse it. And the left trigger is L prime, U prime, L. And it's just the opposite of what R prime is, really.
After you have the second layer solved, you will look at the top of your Rubik's Cube or cube. You will see various different yellow solve pieces. What I have here is I just have a single dot. And for now, we're forgetting about the corner pieces. We're just focusing on the centerpiece and all of the edge pieces. So that's this one, this one, this one, and this one. I have a dot, so all I have to do is this algorithm. F, R, U, R, U prime, F prime. And then I have an L, as you can see. And then I do that same algorithm, except I have to make sure that the L is in the top right corner. And then I do that same algorithm, F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. Then I have a line. And I do that same algorithm once more. F, R, U, R, F. U prime, F. Now, I have a fish. This fish, you can tell it's a fish, is because you have all of the cross pieces solved, and you have one of the corner pieces. Because we have all of the edge pieces, now we have to start looking at the corner pieces. We have one of the corner pieces here. That's called a fish. What you do is you have to feed the fish. If you have the fish, the fish always has to point towards you. So for me, the fish is now pointing towards me, or it could be like this. But for now, we're going to keep it here. Then you have to look for the food. The food you cannot see, it is not visible there. So this yellow piece is the fish's food. So then you move the U over until the fish is pointing towards you and you can see the food. And then you do this algorithm. Then you have whole top layer solved. This is another case of the fish that you might come across. I have the fish pointing towards me, but it's not the same case. The food is not on the left here, so I have to move it across. And then you do the same algorithm, except the opposite. So R, U prime, L prime, U, R, U prime, L. And that solves the top layer. Here we have a cross. As you can see, there is a yellow cross here. To solve this, what we have to do is position it so there's a yellow corner piece pointing towards the left. So you cannot see it visibly if you're looking like this, but you know it's there. And then you do this algorithm. R, U, R prime, U prime, U, R, U2, R prime, and then you get the fish. For those that don't know, U2 is just U moving twice. This is called the city. This is or building. You just do that same method, except this time, all you have to do is face the city so that these two corner pieces are pointing towards the left, towards the right. And then you do that same algorithm. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. And then you have a fish. This is another case that you will come across. It is called the two-headed fish because, as you can see, there is a cross, and without this corner piece, there's a fish. Without this corner piece, there's a fish. But there are two heads. For this, all you have to do is that same algorithm for the cross, except this time you'll have to do it to get to the cross. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. And then you're on the cross. So you just go from there. Have your whole yellow side solved, you can do this step. All you have to do is have a look here. You have no corners completely solved. So what you want to do for this is do this simple algorithm. L prime, U, R, U prime, L, U2, R prime, U prime, U, R, U2, R prime. And that solves always one of your corners. So you want to whip that so it's on the left side. And then you want to do this algorithm. So the same algorithm. The exact same one that we did before. Once you have all four corners solved in the correct position, you will have to do your edge pieces. For now, I have 4 edge pieces unsolved, but this can be fixed easily. All you have to do is follow this simple algorithm. F2, and then you have a look. If I go like that, do they align? No. If I go like that, do they align? No. So, because we have 4 edges unsolved, we know that these two are opposite, so they will not align. So you have to do any random way. So this, and then you got to do this algorithm. L, R prime, doesn't matter which one you do first. F2, R, L prime, again, doesn't matter which one you do first. U, F2. For here, when you're here, you have to make sure that you do the same way that you did at the beginning of the algorithm. Then you'll have one side solved. You point that away from you, and you do this algorithm. F2, have a look. If I go like that, they align, so I want to do this way. Whereas if I went like that, they don't align. L, R prime, F2. R, L prime, U, F2. There you have it. Your Rubik's Cube is now solved.